All right. What is going on, everybody? Wait for some people to get in here. Man, I don't even have my hat today. Still got to shave. Been a long weekend. It's been a long weekend. What's up, Tailgate 360? Hope you're doing well, brother. So I'm looking a little rough today. It's been a long weekend. Still got to shower, shave, all that good stuff. Let me shut this door. Yep, still got to shave, shower, unwind, relax. Today's my Friday, being open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday is basically my Saturday. you know, Sunday's my Friday night. So this is my Friday night. You guys like to get off work Fridays, go party and stuff. I get off work and I do some more work. I hop on live with you guys, answer the people's questions, talk shop, and then I wind down and get all the stuff I need to get done and get prepared for the week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, guys, we're going to talk about today why restaurants are not for the weak. Not for the weak. Chinook Barbecue, what's up, man? Hope all is going well with you also, man. Hope all is going well with you. We need to connect, man. We haven't talked enough, man. Reach out to me. We gotta connect. Pretty good weekend. Pretty good weekend. Not the busiest weekend in the world, but not a disaster either. We had a good weekend at the restaurant. Got to serve a lot of repeat customers, but also a lot of new customers. We get lots of new customers each and every week, which you're going to, especially when you're first starting out. Certainly within your first year minimum, hopefully you continue to get new customers even beyond that, because that's how your business is going to grow and thrive. Your existing customers can only buy so much food, right? So you got to always be growing your customer base. Take care of your existing customers, obviously, but do your marketing, your outreach, and do everything you can within the four walls to grow your new business. Because if you're not bringing in a new clientele, then your business is dying. William Brock, what's up, man? Hope you're having a good weekend, friend. Hope you're having a good weekend. As always, guys, leave your questions and comments in the live chat. I'll be going through and answering that throughout the live. If you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like the video. I would appreciate that. But we're going to talk about, barbecue restaurants are not for the weak. This is not as easy as some people make it look. And you guys know I try to keep it real with you, especially towards the beginning of the channel. I was doing a lot of videos, really just sitting at the restaurant in front of the camera, talking to you guys about kind of the struggles and some of the things that I was going through trying to get the restaurant open, and moving from a pop-up to a brick and mortar and things like that. And I went over a lot of topics regarding that, and I feel like it really resonated. That's when my channel was growing the fastest, was when I was just really having those heart-to-heart, real conversations with you guys on the business. And so one of my goals moving forward is to get back to making those types of videos. You can go on YouTube and find people who are making videos on how to trim a brisket, how to season a brisket, doing smoker reviews. You can find all that stuff on YouTube. But one thing that I think makes my channel, our channel as a community different, is that we're really talking about the day in and day out grind of what you pit masters do, what I do, what Greg from Brisket Daddy Barbecue does, right? Like we're actually talking about on the channel kind of the struggles behind what's involved with doing a barbecue business. So my goal is to get back to doing videos like that, just kind of one-on-one, talking to the camera, just throwing my thoughts out there to you guys, to the universe, because I think it was very relatable, and I think you guys appreciated that. So we're going to get back to doing those types of videos. The types of videos that got me introduced to Greg from Brisket Daddy and to TJ, right, from Zoomies and things like that. So we're gonna get back to keeping it real. What's going on, Greg? How are you?
Just trying to keep it real like you, sir. I'm doing good, doing good. How are you tonight?
Fantastic, fantastic. Just got done with the workout. I was telling the people, man, it was a long weekend. I still got to shower, shave, all that good stuff. I'm running out of t-shirts, so it got me into Kobe jersey, looking strong.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Look at that.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we back working, talking to the people, getting out there.
Is
But I
any
was
we got
telling,
any chats? Anybody say hi, hello just yet? Or
yeah, we got Tailgate 360 LLC. We got Chinook Barbecue in here. We
yep.
got William Brock. Let's
Oh
see.
yeah.
Chinook said, been busy trying to make time, but we've been doing a lot of catering and big services for breakfast and lunch. I'll reach out tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm off at 2 p.m., so I'll have time. But yeah, reach out to me, man. Reach out to me.
Yep. Hello, Mr. Brock. Me and him talked this week. He's been watching your show, and
Nice.
we have some great similarities. I reached out to him and just want to give him a shout out and tell him thanks for the great words of encouragement this week. Very
Thank you.
much needed, and we can talk about that later on here in the show if
Okay,
necessary.
look at you guys making connections. I see you. I see you.
Yeah, it's definitely in the community. So
Very cool.
for sure. This guy was doing it big too.
Okay.
It still ready to rock and roll, man. It's so exciting to see all these guys, you know, allowing me to welcome me into your guys' community and then just being so nice about it. It's great. I'm loving it.
I'm telling you, there's some real there's some real people out there in these live streams and in these chats. And sometimes you just don't really know who these people are. You know, they don't have profile pictures, stuff like that. But you'll never know. These guys could be running. You know, there's a lot of people on the channel that have reached out to me privately or have not, and they're running like big barbecue businesses. Like we had the owner of Space City in here a couple months ago,
Okay.
and they're like they've had articles written about them in Texas Monthly and stuff like that. So people be tuning in. Sometimes they're
Yeah,
lurking in the shadows. They don't say nothing, but you know
they're
they're out
watching.
there. They're out there.
They are definitely
Robert
watching.
Supply said, I always wondered, what if you don't sell the cooked meat you prepared? What do
Mhm.
you do? Resell it the next day like it's fresh? I don't recommend doing that because it's never going to taste the same. And whenever somebody's paying as much as they pay for barbecue, $28 a pound, $30 a pound, $34 a pound, depending on what it is, they're expecting the freshest meat they could possibly buy. And so if you're going to reheat meat from the previous day and serve it to them, they're going to be able to tell. And they might not be able to tell, hey, this was made yesterday. Sometimes they will, but it's certainly not going to be your best foot forward. And you're probably not going to leave the impression on them that you wanted to, which is going to cause them not to come back. See, I think the main driver for people to sell food the next day is because they're worried about losing money on the food, throwing the food away and losing the money on the food. But what they don't realize is they're going to lose future money from those customers when they don't come back. And that's worse. You know, you throw away $100 worth of food, right? That's better than losing a customer for life. That customer could be a weekly customer spending $50 at your restaurant every week.
Mhm.
So that's what you got to think about.
and
Um,
and that may not work for everyone. Some people may be in some earlier stages, right, where you may have to bag up your food and sell it the next day. I think Sean is definitely coaching at the level he is at. He wants to be providing freshness, and he's going to teach us the same way. He wants us to be able to provide that fresh protein, that fresh food, because we know that over time that food is going to degrade. Um, but if you're new and you're wanting to get started, like don't let that stop you. Like do what you got to do to make it happen, but just understand that there's pros and that there's cons.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, if you have extra food, give that away to friends and family, give it
Mhm.
away to the police department, fire department, homeless. You know, I would do everything in your ability not to sell that food the next
Okay.
day.
Okay.
And sometimes you just got to take the L. and throw it. If you can't give it away, throw it away. Take the L and realize that, hey, next week or the next time you go out to do it, don't make as much food.
Okay.
You got to just adjust. Don't make as much food. It still happens to me sometimes. I make too much food. I threw away some food this weekend. It was slower than I thought it was going to be. Threw away some food, but you got to chalk it up to the game. William Brock said, "And barbecue brings so many people together." Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. I was nervous. I wasn't really nervous of calling him, but you never know who you're going to get, knucklehead, somebody saying that they're TJ and they're not. So, but no, William's a great guy. We talked about his past of barbecuing and the smokers that he's had, and just life issues coming at all of us in different ways. So, he still has aspirations to get out there and do it again. And so, yeah, good. Hopefully, William, that will come to fruition soon.
For sure.
Yeah.
Product Supply said, "I'm really thinking of getting into this barbecue business. I'm stutter stepping, getting game from you gentlemen as encouragement." Hey.
Yeah, just get in, you guys. 6 months for me. December 26th, I went out and bought a little griddle, a little tabletop stand, made me up 1 or 2 briskets, sliced it up, put them in Ziploc bags, and then went to the barber shop and 4 ounces of meat, some barbecue sauce in a bun, and there's your sandwich. So you just got to get started.
There you go. Product Supply said, "I have a farmer's market coming up and I'm about to get out there. I'll let you know how it goes." Okay. Yeah, let us know. Mark Carr said, "I was just at HEB this morning and the price of brisket went up again from $3.89 a pound to $4.49, and that's for bottom of the barrel packer."
Yeah, it's hard. It was like $3.68 a pound when I first started.
Yeah.
And then there were some sales where it was like, sometime after Christmas in early January, they were like $3.29 a pound. And I was like, oh, this is great. And now it's, $5.04 a pound.
Well, I've noticed also, something that you got to do, and it's unfortunate, but you have to do it if you're doing this as a business. I know not everybody's doing it as a business just yet in the chat, but I've seen across the board at most of the big barbecue places, their brisket price has gone up.
It has. It has.
The business decision that you got to make. If it's more expensive for you, sometimes that cost has to be.
Always eat it all. We can't give them a dinner roll at our cost. We gotta. You can't. Me and Sean were talking earlier about adding something to a dinner plate just to appease the customers. I'm getting a great deal because I'm getting an extra item, and he was like, "Yeah, and I'm going to increase the price of that dinner meal. I'm not eating the cost."
You have to. The thing is, you're providing. That's a great segue. You're providing a great service and a great product to your community. And it's not a burger and fries. If it was a burger and fries and you're price gouging when you can get a burger and fries anywhere, then yeah, that's messed up. But when you're doing something at a level that your community isn't receiving that product and that service, I don't want to sound like entitled per se, but like you are doing a really good service for that community. And if they want you to stay in business, you're going to have to charge what you need to charge to make the amount of profit you have to make to keep the doors open and to pay your bills, right? Because you see, it's different when you're doing it full time, right? When you're doing a pop-up, when you're doing it on the side, yeah, you want a profit, but it's not the end of the world. You got a full-time job outside of that that's paying all your bills. Whatever you make from the barbecue or don't make from the barbecue is extra. But when it's your full-time thing, that profit has to be enough to not only pay the restaurant expenses, but your personal expenses, your employees' personal expenses,
and
profit to reinvest into the business. So it becomes a little bit different going from a pop-up to brick and mortar. That's some things, that's something that people got to understand too.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, man, I want to do this. I want to sell barbecue. I want to do this full time. It's like, do you really? Because
Yeah.
it's not about just making sure that you're profiting on your meats. It's making sure you can pay your electric bill, making sure you can pay your rent. And we're talking about business rent. We're talking about business electric. Then you got to make sure you pay your personal rent, your personal electric. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth.
These personal car loans, right? Yeah. I was talking to a friend today after worship service, and he was like, yeah, man, you're going to, by the end of the year, you're going to have you a food truck, or you're going to have you a restaurant. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, he's like, well, why not? And my answer to him, as he is a mentor, I said, because I'm limiting myself. But deep down inside, from what I've experienced in the last 6 months on just the pop-up and seeing the fees that are required for a food truck, the storage, the insurances, the liability for the restaurant, the fees for the restaurant, seeing what you're going through for getting signed off, Ansol, am I going to be able to put my smoker outside? I like just right where I am, because anything more than what I'm doing now is going to require me to be doing it every day. I can't have a food truck and be like, no, I'm not, I'm taking July off. I'm taking a month. Yeah, I can't, that payment. I mean, you can do that, but you got to be balling like Sean. You got to be like, yeah, here's this, here's this 2,500, here's this 2,000 for this month. I don't got to like that. So I wasn't in insurance and whatnot. So
whatever.
Yeah, we gotta all take that in consideration. We got to make sure you're ready for that full-time commitment, because I can't, as much as I don't want a food truck, I would love like a little hole in the wall, like I just need a kitchen and my patio, right?
Yeah.
But then in California, I can't just do 3 days a week. I can't just do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I have to go every day to make sure that rent gets paid.
Yeah. You're dealing with California prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're going to get to some of these comments. Brian says, I won the hot wing challenge yesterday at the food truck festival. There you go. Congrats. 33 food trucks at the Flathead County Fairgrounds filled me up. Didn't get to try Knucklehead Barbecue. Okay. Hey, congrats on the win, though.
Yeah.
Congrats on the win, man.
Share a little bit more. What's your secret recipe? How did you sauce them up? Do you smoke them, fry them? Let us know, Brian.
Wings sound good right about now.
Yeah.
I might have to give me some wings tonight. That might be a thing. Marco, so what's up, guys? Checking in from Irwindale, California. What's up, Marco?
Yes,
what's up,
not too far. Irwindale, is that Southern California? Let us know, Marco.
Man, I don't know where that's at.
His picture looks all sunshiny and stuff. He's probably in Southern California.
Dude looks suave, man. Suave.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, bro. Thanks for tuning in.
Product supply. I'm really a good guy, but these meat prices got me side-eyeing these bull farms as I drive past them. If I catch a cow by herself.
Yo, it's so funny. It's the funniest thing to be driving down the freeway and you see cows. And like I was driving by myself. I was going like this. I was driving down the road and I see cows. I was like, "Oh, that's money right there. That's money." Oh, I need those briskets.
Germzilla says, I drove by a few myself on the way to and from work Monday through Friday. I was really eyeing these barbecue vending trailers like $22K.
Yeah, I would do a food truck, but you got to have a smoker on it. Like, because in California, if you have a food truck, you can't carry around a trailer. You can't have anything, pops can't show up and put the smoker next to the food trailer. It has to be all attached. So I'm looking at 70, 80 grand for a food trailer with the smoker on it, right?
I think you get it done cheaper than that. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a small expense. It's going to be another car payment. And actually, it's going to be more than a car payment. It's going to be like a Texas house payment, because the payments are higher on that sort of thing. Like the guys who were next to me, the food truck that was parked next to me, their trailer note, I think, was like $1,500 a month, something like that.
For a
So
60-month term.
I think it was like 36 months.
Oh, 3 years. Okay.
I want to say, I don't remember, but I think they paid like 45.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you might not be wrong. I mean, depending on how big the smoker is.
I mean, I just, me, I'm over the board. I mean, my gear, you see my camera gear, like
Yeah.
my wife would tell you, I don't buy nothing cheap.
Yeah.
I don't buy nothing cheap.
You got it all souped up.
I mean, I got to save up. That's why I'm saving up my money now. I'm giving it to my parents and saying, hey, put this in the bank so I don't go get this new little gadget, this new iPhone or something. Because when I want to get that $70,000 truck, I'm gonna be like, here's this cash, all these pop-ups, and I owe nobody nothing, and I now just got to pay for renting it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, little by little.
We got Ismail in the chat. What's up, brother? I went to Walmart and they have $1.99 a pound. Fine, Chris, get out of here. You lying. I bought a whole bunch of them and put them in the deep freezer. A lot of people say their quality ain't all that,
but brisket is brisket. I mean,
hey, $1.99 a pound. Yeah, that's right. It's great brisket.
Yeah, right. I put some cheese and some sauce on it.
Dude. Yeah, man, that's good sauce for me right there.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go to Walmart tomorrow. Check that out.
So Walmart by my place has the biggest briskets, usually in the hood, 16 to 23 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing because most of that weight is fat.
Yeah, you said I think the perfect brisket was like 12 or 13 pounds pre-cooked. Yeah,
pre-cooked. I would say probably 12 to 14 pounds.
You said 12 to 14.
I'd say 11 to 14-ish pounds. Yeah.
Right. And then from my experience, I've learned that when your finished product is about 50% less than what it is. So if you're saying, okay, well, you're cooking for 50 people, you're going to need X pounds of raw brisket and so many pounds of cooked brisket. And you're like, well, how many do I need? Well, if you're buying a 12-pound brisket, you're going to get 6 pounds out of that. Yeah. And then, each person is getting, 8 ounces, 10 ounces, then it's just math up to 6 pounds from there.
Right. John Fennell says they are not for the week at all. He's talking about restaurants. Yeah, no. They're not. They're not for the week. You got to be in it to win it, man. You got to be dedicated. You got to be willing to put blood, sweat, tears, lots of money, lots of time, energy, and effort for a long period of time. Product supply said balling like Sean. I ain't balling.
Balling like Sean.
Nah, balling like Greg. Greg got a big fancy company out there in California.
Man, I'm not balling. I mean, I bought some gear this week, Sean.
This guy. When you go, I need some camera gear, man. I'm looking fuzzy over here.
No, you on the MacBook. You looking all right. I downgraded to come. I want to be at your level, so I downgraded to the MacBook too.
This guy. I'm thinking of video stuff. We might have to connect. I'm thinking about something. But we'll see.
I bought a. Okay, go ahead. Let's keep going. Yep.
Marco says yes. It's in Southern California. He's about 20 minutes outside of East LA. Germzilla, you could just bolt it onto the back of the trailer. The ones I was looking at have a back porch on them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want. The porch, seating patio. I want it all. Music.
Yep. Product supply is right. Come to Texas. You can get anything you want made. We make it all, man. Germzilla, yeah, the decent ones were about 22 to 25K. Then up, I saw a gooseneck one that was like 45 foot long, and they wanted 140K. Wow. Product supply $1.99 a pound. He got all that. Yeah. I've never heard of $1.99 a pound, bro.
Yeah. I'll go tomorrow though. But technically, like by law, I'm not like supposed to be shopping at regular grocery stores. We have to shop at restaurant supply stores, right?
I mean, it's not a law.
It's not a law. Is HEB? HEB is considered standard grocery though, right? It's just a step up from Walmart.
It's a big step up. It's a big step up. Huge step up. You're bugging. HEB's the GOAT. Everybody put it in the chat. HEB. Just type HEB.
This
Best
type
gro-
of it. This
best
right.
grocery store in America. You bugging. Gerbzilla said I like to render down the fat and get my tallow out of briskets, then freeze fat too, so you always
Ooh.
have it to render. Yeah, if you got the extra tallow, absolutely.
Oh, while we're there, my trip to Texas, I learned how to render down my tallow. Matter of fact, I got a great burn mark on my arm from that crap. Within 5 minutes of being in this man's kitchen, I was ready for an insurance claim.
This
I lifted off the top of that cooking tallow, and that steam revved up on my arm and burnt me up really bad.
TJ and I had to teach Greg how to operate in a kitchen.
This guy, but yeah, this week I put my tallow right on the stove. It got the kitchen smelling just like Kirby's barbecue. It felt just like home.
I'm sure the wife loved that.
Yeah, she got in. She was like, why you cooking fish? But it was good. I got a lot of tallow. It was great. I put it in the mason jars. I filled up like 4 or 5 mason jars, and then I moved that over to my deli containers. Because Brisket Daddy is selling iced tea and lemonade and Arnold Palmer's.
Okay. How's that go?
Huh?
That went over pretty well.
That went over very well. I had a gentleman convincing me for the last 6 months, and he was like, "Are you trying to cook briskets and have fun, or are you trying to make a profit?"
This guy. Everybody's like, you should sell lemonade. They don't tell me that, but I'm like, everybody online, they think like lemonade is like you're gonna get rich selling lemonade. Okay, whatever.
I don't. There's got to be some truth to it. I met the lemonade guy last week and paid $7 for a lemonade.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. He was telling me his numbers, and I was like, yeah, I gotta try it at least.
these lemonade guys swear they make a killing on this.
They swear I promise you. Put in the chat if you're a lemonade guy or you know somebody.
I'm not. I mean, I can see it's very profitable for sure.
Yeah. My neighbor's got a huge tree. Washed them up. I got about 50 or 60 lemons. I had $0 spent on lemonade. I bought it.
Next thing you know, you're gonna have a bunch of freaking lemon trees in your backyard. Brian Bowe said it was 4 Wings Knucklehead made on alcohol brewed. I don't know what's
alcohol brewed local. It was 4 Wings Knucklehead made them alcohol brew. Eat a wing, wait 5 minutes. After everyone is done, then another cute little gal next to me tapped out round 3, so I grabbed hers. Wait.
I think Brian's been drinking.
Yeah. Was he making the wings or eating the wings?
Or was he drinking the beer? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, he said he won a competition, so he was making them. Product supply said HEB is Texas Vallarta. Is that a grocery store somewhere where you're at?
No, not in Northern California, maybe Southern. Where's product supply from? Oh, yeah, I don't know.
MSL says I was at a vendor event yesterday in Modesto, California.
Oh.
And there were 3 lemonade stands. No lie. Yeah, man, because everybody online that says you need to sell lemonade, you're gonna make a killing. And so you got 3 lemonade stands right next to each other.
In the same spot. Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Damn shame. Number 2, hand me an ice cold sun kiss with my barbecue combo. Okay.
Yeah, somebody they want a good drink. So I was doing, the $25 rib plate, a couple ribs, side, and a roll, and then you get a soda with that. But if you want to upgrade to the iced tea or Arnold Palmer or lemonade, then it's a $5 charge for the drink.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Southern California. That's what I thought.
SoCal, baby.
I wonder, the guy was in Modesto. What's the HEB, guys, in the chat? What's the HEB of California? Is it like what is it? That's not the Walmart, because you guys have Walmarts out there, right?
Yeah.
So is it like Smart and Final? Is it like Lucky's, is it like Safeway, Bel Air, it's a regular grocery store.
If you've never been to HEB, don't comment.
I've been there. I've been
No,
there once.
you have, but you're a hater. I'm
No,
talking about
I love it. They had exactly what I needed. They had that black counter for. Yeah, that's what I want.
Hey, talk about the meat selection. They had everything.
Yeah, they had the dino ribs. They had the prawns, jumbo prawns. They had the briskets. They had wagyu. They had all the way. They had, all the 4 different briskets all the way up to the wagyu. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They had tomahawks. Biggest meat selection I've seen in a grocery store.
That's right. Everything's bigger in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Big box of foil. Yeah, they had everything.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
You guys have Target out there also? U.S. Foods. That's what I see. Yep.
Yeah, but U.S. Foods, that's wholesale though. That's not a grocery store.
So U.S. Foods is owned. U.S. Chef Store is owned by U.S. Foods. So U.S. Foods is like the Cisco. They'll like deliver to you.
Yeah, it's a wholesale. Yeah,
it's wholesale. But U.S. Store Chef Store is open to the public. So I would say that our U.S. Chef Store is the same as HEB, but HEB has more of a grocery store feel because they have like hot food area, right? They have like pizza and it
is a grocery store.
It is a grocery store. So it's not U.S. Chef Store is more just like a restaurant supply store.
Yeah.
That's open to the public.
So check this out. My wife found something very cool on Amazon. So you know how we were using regular butcher paper to line our trays?
Yeah, pink.
Yeah, which looked great. However, right, that roll of butcher paper, it's a giant roll.
It is.
You can't always get straight cuts on it.
Right.
It looks fine, but it doesn't look like amazing, right? Well, look at what I found. Well, actually, my wife found.
Oh. That's actually really nice. Even if you're not serving lamb and goose and goat and duck, that's still like.
Isn't that really nice?
It's really nice, and you don't really have to pay for the branding that you would normally have to pay for on paper like this. This still gives you a good barbecue feel. I like that.
So
yeah,
I was use those next week.
I was gonna buy some paper liners, but I don't have trays, so it was really no need to kind of do that right now.
That's just an extra cost for you.
I just need stickers. I want to add stickers to more of my plates, and then I'm gonna do the refill. So if you buy a drink, it's $7, but if you want the refill, it's $12, and then I put the sticker on it, and then I know you can refill.
Oh, okay, I got you. Now I'm tracking. I was like, wait, the refills are more expensive than I got you now. I got you.
With the refill.
I haven't eaten dinner. Okay, here we go. Product supply said Vallarta is just like HEB. HEB have a huge beef dino ribs, bro, freaking huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vallarta is a grocery store out there.
That's in Southern California. Yeah, we don't have one here, but.
Okay.
Awesome.
Brian said Knucklehead had a little truck, looked like an ice cream truck, and a 10x10 tent with a homemaker barbecues. Rules are better in Montana. Don't tell many of neighbors. Is this making sense to you?
No. Who's Knucklehead? Because he keeps referring to Knucklehead. Because he said Knucklehead made the wings and Knucklehead this. So Brian, who's Knucklehead? First off, just tell us, were you cooking the wings?
I need whatever Brian's smoking. That's what
because he was first he started talking about the young lady. So just what kind of wings did you cook and when? That's what I just answer that, and then we'll go.
Oh, Whiskey Daddy, you got some comp. You got some competition.
Oh, bring it.
Please TV, I finally caught your live. Thanks for the motivation. I've officially started my barbecue pop-up. Snack Daddy's Barbecue.
Snack Daddy.
Brisket Daddy. Snack Daddy's Barbecue about to come in and
Smacking. I like that though. I like smacking
And
barbecue.
you know Snack Daddy's barbecue gonna have some banging brisket fries. You already know because he's the Snack Daddy. You know what I'm saying? He about to kill it. He coming for you, Greg. He coming
Snack
for
Daddy
that Brisket
barbecue.
Daddy title. He said, Greg, that dude on there, he got Brisket Daddy barbecue. That's what I wanted. You know what? I'm gonna be Snack Daddy.
Sleaze, yes, Snack Daddy. Where you at? What you got on the menu? Let us know. Let us know what you got going. I'm excited. Yes, definitely. Bring the competition because I'm slacking. I gotta get the level back up.
There
I
you
can't.
go.
Yes, sir.
Product supply. What would you use that paper for? To line my trays that I serve the barbecue on for my orders when they're ordering dining. You know, when they're ordering for here.
To
Yes,
go
sir.
plates. I mean,
You,
for
you could, you
dine-in trays. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose I could put them on the bottom of my to-go boxes, but that's kind of an extra added cost.
Yeah. No, we're not. We
It
already
look
talked about
nice,
that.
but it's an extra cost. You know.
Yeah, because you're only going to get them under the. Oh yeah, you don't have dividers.
No,
You don't have
no dividers.
dividers in your
I mean,
box.
it would look nice. It would look nice.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible.
Maybe every 5 boxes. Maybe I don't know.
MSL, yo, I won my first barbecue cook-off yesterday in Modesto. I'm T-Bane's Barbecue Co. out of Oakdale. Where were you, Greg? Why wasn't you in this cook-off, man?
Greg had a catering order for 60 prepaid meals.
Yeah, he was making money. He was getting trophies. You was making money.
Yep. My biggest day ever yesterday.
Congratulations, MSL.
Congratulations. What's your process, MSL 1971?
Not what's your process. What's the name of your barbecue business? He's Modesto.
I'm T-Bane's BBQ company.
That's right, T-Bane's.
T-Bane's barbecue. What's your rib secret? Are you wrapping at the last hour? Are you putting a little sauce on them or something? What's the deal? How did you get that W? And then what'd you win? Like, what's the competition barbecue game like? Is you got 1,500? Is it 15,000? What's the payout? 150?
T-Bane's.
I have somebody asking me to be enter a barbecue cook-off at the state fair that's coming here, and I guess there's 2 different type of cook-offs. There's one where you buy the meat yourself and you cook it, and then there's another one where they buy the meat for you. I think it's called the People's Cook-Off or something, and they buy it for you.
I think I found T-Bane's Instagram, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Is this it, T-Bane's?
T-Bane's BBQ Co.
Is this it right here?
Small batch, 100% oak.
Barbecue contest, Modesto, California.
Yep. Okay, he got the little paper. He got the little trays in there. Okay, some pulled pork and some ribs. What is that? Oh, the mac and cheese. Okay. Oh, he's shaking his head. What is this? This is some baked beans. Oh, there's the brisket loaded fries.
Yep, there's your loaded fries.
That was not with brisket. It looked like they had sausage on there. Really cheesy though.
There's stuff on there.
It's kind of like the melted cheese. I wonder how he melted that cheese. Okay, there's a plate. Oh, full pickle. Okay, there's that same paper. There's that same paper.
Was it?
It looked like it. It'll roll back through.
Let me find out.
What is that? That's the brisket.
Banana.
Oh, there's your banana pudding. Super, super good. He said super, super creamy. Yeah, there's that paper. Oh, something different. Premium quality.
Okay.
Can I see his description real quick up top? What does that description say? Craft barbecue inspired by Kansas City, Carolina, and Texas to bring you Cali-born flavors for your private parties. So he's mixing Texas and Carolina type style barbecue.
The city.
Oh, there's a peppercini on that. Oh, that's a sausage. Is that sausage in?
Sausage, brisket, pickles, peppercini, white onion. Let's see. Let's see what we got. We got some turkey breast. A little turkey breast. Okay. Okay. All right.
What's the menu there? Oh, sorry.
All right. All right. He was doing tri-tip too. I see him doing some tri-tip.
My dad
That's
was bugging me
California.
about some tri-tip this week. He was like, "Man, put on some tri-tip. People love tri-tip," and I was just trying to explain to
You
him.
out there.
They do, but like I'm the brisket guy.
Yeah.
I can't add another protein because you don't charge the same for tri-tip as you do brisket, and like it's just too much. Like,
Damn. Ismail, if you're still on the live, bro, is this current? This man just literally sent me 198 rollback Walmart fine brisket.
okay, that's when we go to the end this week, right this second.
When did you get this? When was this pick taken?
Check on the chat, see what we got going, because I asked a couple questions. I want to see if anybody answered those questions real quick. Also, just want to shout out to everybody on the line watching the live stream. How many people you got, Sean?
13.
Okay, all 13 guys. Thank you for tuning in. Barbecue is more important than basketball. Just wanted to let that.
There you go. Knucklehead is one of the better known barbecue places in the Valley. I went to a festival to find out who is the competition and how do I get in next year. It's once a year event out in the Valley. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's who Knucklehead was. So you said something about, again, still you won a contest for cooking some wings, right? Yeah. So confirm that you won the contest.
What kind of wings did you cook, man?
Smoked wings, fried wings, boiled wings, sauteed wings.
KC said, love eating at barbecue competitions. MSL said, no wrap brisket, 11-hour cook. Okay.
Yeah, which is very possible, I'm learning.
Yep.
Very
Brian possible. Said, okay, he answered the question. Carolina Reaper and Ghost Pepper will win you a glass of beer in Montana. Plan is to talk to Knucklehead into allowing some of my wings in his contest. Okay.
Okay.
Tri-tip. Brisket style, slow smoke for 6 hours.
Somebody told me you could do that. I didn't know that you could really do tri-tip smoke like brisket. The meat dude said you could, but I know brisket. I know tri-tip to be a 1 hour cook. You sear it for 15 minutes, both sides, 20, 30 minutes, 50, whatever. And then
cook it real low.
Yeah, and then it's done in 45 minutes.
Yeah. William Brock said, wow. What you saying wow to, William? Fill us in, my friend.
I'm probably saying wow to my lemonade because he was asking me. He encouraged me to go ahead and do it.
Sleaze TV. He hitting you with that comeback. Let's see what he had to say.
Okay, yep.
North Augusta, South Carolina. I'm definitely going to have brisket fries, LOL. We have, of course, pulled pork, smoked turkey breast sandwiches, ribs hash, and rice, etc. I'm trying to keep the menu simple. Okay.
What's hash? What's the rib? What's the rib hash?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Must be a South Carolina thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Brisket fries. I want to know about these brisket fries. What you gonna have on the brisket fries? Because I love brisket fries.
They're gonna be better than yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them on your menu, but he ain't. You ain't seen it yet.
I ain't seen the light. Brisket Daddy, I'm glad you said that. You're the brisket guy. I'm going to do tri-tip. How much do I charge? He don't want you to sell tri-tip. He wants you to stay away from his product. That's what he wants.
How much? He says, how much do you charge? Okay, so a tri-tip is $7 a pound. And so I'm not for sure how much weight you lose on that, but a tri-tip sandwich is for sure 15, easy, 16.50, $17. A brisket sandwich is like 17, 19. I need to raise my price on my sandwich, but yeah, I don't know about per pound. I like just multiplying things by 4 and 5 and calling it a day.
Okay. William Brock said, he was saying, wow, about the rollback brisket price. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I need to get back to that.
That's wild. And yes, it's a Carolina thing. Okay.
Yep.
So, Greg, on the topic of barbecue restaurants aren't for the weak. what questions do you have about that statement, man? What can we get into with that statement?
Um, barbecue businesses are not for the weak. That's the name of the live stream tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not for the weak because you're going to have a challenge every single day that you're going to need to find a solution to, whether it's your food costs, your labor costs, you're losing your electricity, losing your all, not having hot water in your wash station, to not
Yeah.
having water at all in your grand opening, right?
That's
Um, to your ANSOL system needing to be signed off on, needing more money. Like we think you're going to need $10,000 to get your food truck, but you end up needing 15,000, and that's not what they're being wrapped, right? So you're going to need to be able to find a way to like make things happen. It's not for the weak. Like I've been smoking in my backyard for 5 months now, and I did not know for the last 5 months my neighbors have been suffering through me smoking, and she's got cancer and asthma. And
ooh,
so like I went to them and said, hey, is everything okay? Is you guys, this is fine, not a problem? And they were just being honest with me. So like, do I shut down my business? Do I close the doors? No, I gotta call a friend and put 1,000-gallon smoker in my front yard. Literally, I look like I have a submarine. Everybody's like, what is this for?
yeah,
Right? I got grease stains and stuff now, kind of like out front on the driveway. It's my house. I live in a nice neighborhood, just like you, Sean. And
yeah.
imagine you rolling 1,000-gallon smoker in front of your house. Then I got like bags and wood all over the front of the house. I got a big old trailer in the front yard. It's a mess. I got a problem right now on my hands. But
Yeah.
uh, you got to like, I think what William Brock was telling me, like he was watching the last live stream last week, and he's like, don't give up. Like I know you're tired, but just keep pushing because your community needs this and you are enjoying what you're doing. So it's a win-win for everyone. So why is business not for the weak? Because you got to get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to get your proteins on by 5 p.m. And then you're missing your dinner appointment because the smoker didn't do right, and now you got to stay till 7. Like
Mm.
I didn't go to bed Friday. Like, yeah, I bought a new food warmer. We can talk about that later. And I put my briskets on at like 7 o'clock in the morning. But come 8 p.m. and I put the food in the warmers, I still had barbecue sauce to make. I still had this to get on the trailer. I got to bed at like 1 a.m., 1:30, and then I had to put some ribs on as late as possible because my first order of ribs were going to be due up at 9 a.m. And I
Mm.
knew that we weren't taking the smoker out to the location until 6 a.m. and I need 4 hours to do ribs, so I had to start something. So that means I was back up getting some ribs off the smoker at like 4 a.m. because I put them on at 12 or something.
Okay.
And then I was back up at 6 a.m. to load up to help my dad get to the spot for the location. So it's not for the weak because you're going to run yourself into the ground. You got to get the momentum going so other people can jump on board. So it's just not for the weak. It's long hours. It's hard work. Those paydays make it worth it at the end. Like, I did 3x what I normally do yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, that wasn't necessarily all profit, but it's my biggest sale ever, and I was able to put a little bit more money in the bank. So it makes it worth it. But you cannot be weak trying to do. Nothing comes easy. If it's going to be successful, it's going to be hard. That's all I
Yeah.
got. I'm done
Yeah.
rambling.
No, it's great. And something you hit on at the beginning, which was fantastic, is there's going to be a new problem for you to solve every single day. And we used to say in the restaurant business, you're a full-time firefighter. You're constantly fighting fires every single day. Something's going to come up, some issue, some problem's going to come up that you're going to have to solve. Whether it's, man, your meat price went up and now you got to find a new supplier, or it's your best employee quit and left and you got to find somebody to replace them, or it's your firewood guy didn't deliver your firewood on time. There's always going to be some kind of issue, some kind of fire that you have to put out. and it can be tiring, it can be exhausting, but if you know what to expect, if you understand those things are going to happen, and you got to just take it one problem at a time, then you can get past it. Especially when you got a good community of guys like we have here. I always tell you guys, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Greg, TJ. I know he's not on tonight, but TJ, and all of you guys in the chat, connect with each other. All of you guys are probably on Instagram and stuff like that. Connect with each other and use everybody as a support system, because this stuff's not easy. And to be honest, I don't know where I'd be at mentally if I did not have you, Greg, and TJ, and honestly, everybody who watched the videos and comments on the videos.
That's a true statement. I do not know where Sean Jones would be if I had not signed up for his business coaching plan, because since I've signed up for the business coaching plan, I find myself becoming a coach. I find myself just, and when I say coach, I'm not giving this guy any information. I'm just being that good listening ear, because one thing I've noticed in our relationship is he gets to talking. And when we get to talking, like, things start popping up in his head. It starts popping up in my head. I may not know anything about the restaurant business. I'm new. I'm 6 months in. This guy's been doing this for a few years, but just to have somebody to listen to, you bounce ideas off of me. I may not give him a right answer, right? But he's got to take and process that however he may. So to have the community, when William talked to me and the bouncing, matter of fact, we talked on a Friday, and then when we were on the phone, I called him back and I was like, hey, I want to do this. Like, I've never talked to you. I don't know you, but what do you think about this? And then he just gave me an answer, and I just went with that. Right. So definitely a community, definitely reaching out to people, signing up for Sean's $100 plan for business coaching. Definitely prepare you. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I do the one-on-one coaching for people. You can join it through the membership tab, or there's a join button, I think, on my channel, where you can look at the different membership tiers. The one that I really push is the most expensive one. It's the barbecue business coaching. Mm-hmm. It's one-on-one coaching where you have access to me 24/7. You can call anytime, text anytime, reach out, have questions about your barbecue business. You want me to help sit down and help you build a business plan for your barbecue pop-up, food truck, trailer, or restaurant. I can help you do that. Everything from rolling out the menu to pricing to regulations, permits, everything. I've got close to a decade worth of restaurant experience, and I take all that experience and help you get your barbecue business up and running and going. So the coaching is definitely worth it. Everyone who's been on the coaching so far that has been actually using it has seen way more money in their barbecue business since joining. So
yeah,
definitely something to consider.
Definitely.
Robert B. Restaurants aren't for the weak, but neither is working retail. I work a retail job every day, but I'm going to try to make my dreams come true. That's running my own food business. Yes. Retail's tough. Yeah. But, keep in mind, there's a big difference between being the employee and being the boss. Like, there's sometimes where a lot of times, especially first starting out, where your employees are going to be making more money each week than you are. You don't get that when you have a job. You make the money whether or not the business is doing well or not. Mm-hmm. You're going to get your check, right? They're going to do everything they can to make payroll, even though the owner's struggling, right? And so it's a lot easier to be an employee in any field than it is to be the owner. Everybody says they want to be the owner, but that's why the saying is it costs to be the boss. Because there's weeks where I'm paying my employees much more money than I'm actually profiting and putting in my pocket. And that's real talk.
That's real talk.
Product supply. I'm a long haul truck driver, diehard. I think this barbecue business will take off.
It will. It will take you off the road. I have a full-time job. I have a full-time production company. Well, on-call production company. I freelance for a handful of production firms, and um, I promise you guys, like 6 months ago, I bought a 22-inch griddle and a little tabletop. Like 6 months later, I've got a 12-foot trailer, a 48-inch egg griddle, a deep fryer, a food warmer. My garage is loaded down with chafing dishes and food warmers and a freezer, refrigerator. It's literally taken over my life. Um, literally. And if I were
Don't
to
tell him
do,
that.
huh?
I said, don't tell him that. In a good way. In a good way, right?
In a good way. Yeah, in a good way, right? Because technically, if I were to go out and do what I do on a weekend, every weekend, I would probably make more than I make on my job. But this is a season, right? You can't be like, oh, well, Brisket Daddy said like oh, I see myself bringing in $2,000 on a weekend. I do 4 weekends. That's $8,000. But now, what are you going to do when it's freezing cold outside, right? What are you going to do when it's not barbecue season in wherever you are, or when you're just tired and don't feel like doing it? So you got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't put the cart before the horse, as they say
Yeah.
down here in Texas. William Brock, and if you really crunch the numbers, you're actually only making a few dollars an hour from start to finish. Yep, 100%. That's no lie.
That's no lie. Like, yeah, that's
That's
no
no
lie.
lie.
24 hours, 40. I mean, yeah, I put a couple $1,000, $1,000 in the bank, but you say, okay, I just got done working for 48 hours, plus I got dishes tomorrow. So yeah, 60 hours of work for $1,000. I don't know. What's the math?
I don't know. Somebody could do the math.
Yeah. 1,000 divided by 60. It's $16 an hour.
Sleaze TV, I definitely need to sign up for the coaching. Yes, you do, my
Yeah,
friend.
sure.
Yeah,
If you're trying to be the daddy of anything, you definitely recommend it.
Yeah, man. We're trying to make my goal with the coaching thing is really just to help you guys out, but also, if you guys are familiar with Goldie's, they were number one on Texas Monthly's top 50 in 2021. But one thing that's I think is more impressive than them getting number one for their food in their restaurant is how many pit masters have come out of Goldie's and opened up their own places because of how much they learned there at Goldie's, how open the guys there are about teaching other people and giving them opportunities to be an instrumental part of their business and being okay with knowing that those people, multiple people, have gone to work at Goldie's and straight up told them, hey, look, I want to learn from you guys and eventually open my own place. And a lot of pit masters, a lot of places, a lot of restaurants would be like, no, why would I train my competition? I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They wouldn't even hire you if you told them one day you wanted to open your own barbecue restaurant.
Probably not.
But they've been so open about everything and helping people. And I think that's what's most impressive is, they produced Chuck from Barb's BQ. She was the head pit master at Goldie's when they won. Amir from Redbird Barbecue came out at Goldie's. There's several other people, and both of those restaurants were in the top 50 this year. So I want to be able to say, oh yeah, Greg from Brisket Daddy, he trained under. I want people to be like, yeah, Greg from Brisket Daddy, he trained under Kirby's Barbecue. Sleaze TV. Oh yeah, man, he's out there in South Carolina, absolutely crushing it. Where did he learn all this stuff? Oh, he learned it from Kirby's Barbecue. That's a cool thing to be able to say.
Especially if you guys really think about it and know this man's story. His grandfather, right, was a grand pit master. So if you think about it, Sean is the grandfather of barbecue, and he's teaching these small little daddies, right? He's got Brisket Daddy, he's got Snack Daddy under him. This is the OG right here. I mean, you got to sign up. Today's the day. Sleaze,
Mario Cookers, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. I know you're a busy man. I'm happy we were able to get you in here, my friend. We need to get you back out to the restaurant, man. We got to chat. I want to know if you sold that smoker yet, man. El Barrio said, like I said before to you guys, hats off to y'all going all in on y'all's barbecue dreams. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
He said, this Texas heat, like I told you, Sean, I'm a punk biatch in this heat.
Me too. I need to like that comment. I was cool off the humidity. That just drained me. I don't know if you guys see me sleeping, but that was just because of the heat.
It's hot, man. It's hot.
It was the heat and these good old brisket sandwiches he was serving me up, putting me right to sleep on the patio.
Sleaze TV, I'm a trucker myself. I own my truck. I'm planning on either hiring me a driver to run it while I run my barbecue business. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not only so you can do the barbecue business, but also so that you got two streams of income, and one of them somewhat passive with having the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all.
MSL said there's no way I could work full time and try to run a barbecue business at the same time, not cooking with live fire, maybe with a pellet grill. Yeah, Greg's doing that. Greg's doing that. He's putting in the hours away from his family, away from, everything else. He could be doing anything he wanted. He could be playing golf, going to the shooting range,
Yeah, looking at how much time I've spent cooking, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I could be doing. And I think about that. I'm like, man, everybody's like chilling. My wife is saying I'm doing too much, and like everybody's just, when do I just sit down and relax and chill? But that $16 an hour to be able to put $1,000 in the bank is like, yeah, it may be $16,000 an hour over these 60 hours, but like I wouldn't have had that $1,000 if I wouldn't have gotten up and done something.
Yeah,
and it's only going to get better over time. You got to start.
You know what we need to do? We need to do a who's the swollest pitmaster competition. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
We should have a push-up challenge. That's what we need to do.
A push-up challenge?
Yeah, so we can verify. We get down, we put our cameras to the ground.
I don't think I could do the most push-ups in one sitting consecutively.
Oh, okay.
I think over a whole day, I think I'd be up there.
Okay.
I could drop down and hit 100 real quick, and then an hour later hit another 100. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was thinking more like 125, but yes. I think like the Price is Right. I was thinking more like 101.
Yeah. Trumpet Master, what's up, man? He said we ain't even in August yet. It ain't hot yet. El Barrio said I made some direct over the fire char siu pork ribs last night on my trailer. They were amazing. Okay. I bet they were, man. I'm so used to eating my own barbecue, which is great, by the way. But I don't oftentimes get to eat other people's barbecue.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
I mean, like if I'm gonna go to like a well-known place, right, on the list, honestly, I don't even eat barbecue anymore unless it's somebody in the top 50. I'm not even willing to try it. And that's kind of stuck up. You should support all your local places. You guys should. But since I'm cooking it every single weekend, it's like either I'm eating my barbecue or I'm eating somebody in the top 50. That's it.
That's so true.
And I've had barbecue from some places in the top 50, and I was like, yeah, no, mine's better than that. So yeah.
I did exactly what you said. So there's a gentleman here in Sacramento. He came to my pop-up from a friend, and he's come like 2 or 3 times. And in the last 2 months, he started cooking his own food. He loved smoking and all that. And today he was selling from out of his home. So I went to his home and supported him, gave him a good $50 bill, sat down in his home. He gave me a meal. We talked barbecue. It was just so inspiring to see somebody taking my dream or I wouldn't even say dream or passion, what I've started, and he's taken it and said, hey, if you can do it, I can do it too. He's literally at his house right now waiting for people to come over to pick up the food. So like, I just, to be able to support him like that was awesome. And you have had other people's food. Brisket Daddy came to Texas and made some dino beef ribs that they're still screaming about, from what I understand.
You did make some beef ribs.
Did make some beef ribs.
They were They were good. They were
Mhm.
good. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them. They were good. I have nothing bad to report. Trumpet Master said, "How about run a mile challenge? I don't think any of us could do that." LOL. Trumpet Master, you gotta speak for yourself, dog. I'm starting my training camp for my next fight, my next amateur boxing match, man. When I'm in camp, man, I'm doing 7 mile runs, dog. I don't know what you're talking about. Seven
I'm with
mile.
Trumpet Master. I'm not. I already get my steps in walking back and forth from the smoker to the kitchen, so I'm good.
Yeah, no.
I'm definitely good.
I hate running, but I can put some miles in when I'm in camp for sure.
Speed walk.
Nah, put the headphones on, put some of that G unit on, and just start running. You know what I'm saying?
We have any comments, or are we good? We're good for me to bring up a new talking point.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I bought a
Everybody stopped commenting when we started talking about push-ups and running miles.
yeah, right. It got real quiet. All right, let's
Real
get back to
quiet.
barbecue food. Let's get off of Sean's muscles and skin he's got showing. Sorry, we thought this was a family show, but we're gonna try to keep it clean. All the skin we got showing. I bought a okay, what is this here? I do my running to the kitchen and between commercial break, right?
Robert B said, "I love the heat and I hate the cold." Same, man. Can't wait to come to Houston next month for vacation. Plus, I plan on coming to visit to chow down. Awesome, man. Yeah, come by. Love to meet you. Love to meet you.
So I'll let the world know. Brisket Daddy bought a food warmer this week.
Congratulations, my friend. Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues.
It
already paid for itself on the first day of use. I was able to cook at 5 a.m., got done at 6 p.m., and put that food in the warmer. And I was able to rest and go about my day knowing that my food was going to continue to be safe until I served it. Not even hot, safe. I'm not worried. I mean, I can get it back to temperature, but safe is the most important thing because, other than that, you've got to start cooking your briskets at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening on a Friday night. And to be getting done at 6 a.m. cooking briskets to then start packing up a trailer to go out to provide the best customer service at 10 a.m. It's just not possible. You're gonna run yourself down, which I have been doing. Sleeping for 45 minute spurts in between just to be rested to get back up for the next wave. So with the food warmer, I'm able to do exactly what I seen Sean do, what he taught me to do under my business coaching. I said, hey, I gotta do something. Bite the bullet, buy you a food warmer, and it was perfect. So I got a full size, just like you told me to get instead of a countertop, and and then I put it on the trailer since I didn't have to take my smoker with me on the trailer. I took it with me and took a generator, and it ran all day. Filled up the generator a couple times with some gas, and I had food service from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. At 4 o'clock, I took my last brisket out, and when my worker gave it to me, it was nice and hot. It was perfect. Every single brisket that I did this week was perfect. It was textbook. I did the wrap, just like you said, and then let it get to the 3 points. I wanted jiggly. I wanted at 204 and probe tender. And then I unwrapped it and did exactly as you said with my tallow, and then wrapped it up with the foil and put it in the warmer, and it was butter.
There you go.
Yeah, spot on. So I really appreciate telling me about that process and getting me through that. And it was even so great that I was able to, right before I leave, I like to make sure like the mac and cheese and the baked beans are freshly made. And then I just put those in half pans and put those in the food warmer also. And that was able to keep my baked beans and my mac and cheese at temperature inside the food warmer also. And I travel with everything in the food warmer. I had big pans in there. I had no juice leaking anywhere. I put a big towel at the bottom just in case.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, so great buy.
We got a $5 super chat from Marco Romero. We appreciate that. Thank you
Yep.
so much for supporting the channel, Marco.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was supposed to be a comment in there, but if there was, definitely comment and we'll read it out.
Yep.
If not, no worries. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Trumpet Master said food warmers bring brisket to another level. They cut like butter, baby.
They did. They all did.
100%. William Brock said that's awesome. Talking about the brisket, the food warmer. There you go. Awesome, awesome. So we got our first super chat of the night. Let's see if we can get our first new member on the channel tonight. Sleaze TV, where you at, man? Where are you at? Let's see if we can get another channel member tonight. But yeah, just know what you guys are getting yourselves into when you get into the barbecue game. It can be tough, but I think pop-ups are the way to go. If I was you, I wouldn't think about a restaurant unless you have a bunch of restaurant experience.
And money.
And I wouldn't think about an expensive $50,000 food truck or trailer. If I were you, I would do a pop-up, man. I mean, Greg's profit doing this pop-up is much more than you're going to have doing a restaurant starting out. Now, the ceiling's higher in a restaurant. Your ceiling for making money is much higher. But the floor at the bottom, at the ground level, pop-up, you're going to make way more money as far as profit-wise. You're going to make a lot more money. But, that's why if you're going to do a restaurant, you got to be in it to win it. You got to be in it for the long haul.
You got to be in the long haul. Because, okay, you may want a restaurant today, but 6 months, 8 months, I'm in this for 6 months, and I was just ready for July to be like, I'm going to Cabo in the end of July. So I was shutting July down. I'm no pop-ups. Don't call me for nothing. I'm resting. I wouldn't want a restaurant in July or August right now because I'm just not burnt out, just tired. Say again?
You would have to open if you did.
I would have to open if I did. I'd have to have staff to cover the week while I'm gone. I'd have to.
Yeah. And then can you afford? Because I can't take a week off. I do too much in the business.
Right. Because you got to train somebody how to trim it. That person may not know how to. Hopefully they can season it, but then they got to know how to cook it. They are not the whole process. If they're not learning that and then follow it to the T, you can come back to some serious problems.
And even if they are fully trained, do you have the capital to pay somebody what the hours they were already working plus your hours that you work? Because typically as a business owner, or working a lot of hours that you're not necessarily getting paid for. Can you pay somebody to work the hours that you're working?
That's right.
Profit to pay them for that.
Right, because you're doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they're only, you're paying the guy to make the potato salad and the baked beans and the corn and whatever, but you're doing, the brisket, the pies or whatever. And so now you're saying, I'm leaving for a week. So now I need you to cook the briskets, the pies, and this, plus all the other stuff you're doing. So either you're paying a second person to come in and assist, or you're paying this guy double to manage all of it. And then you're praying that they're not stealing food or money from out the till while you're gone.
And think about this. Brisket's a 12-hour cook. So if you're not cooking the brisket yourself, that means you're paying somebody for 12 hours, guaranteed.
And that's, right. Yeah, I would not be functional if I was paying somebody 12 hours because I'm eating the cost.
12 hours on Thursday. 12 hours on Friday. That's 24. 12 hours on Saturday. 12 hours essentially. Maybe not Sunday, but you're looking at
36 to 48 hours.
You're looking at a lot of hours.
Yeah, you are. So we're looking at, let's say we're doing 15 an hour times 30 hours is $450 for the weekend. That's just cooking.
That's 30 hours.
Yeah, 15 times 30 is
Yeah. If
$450.
you're cooking briskets 3 days, that's 36 hours right there.
Oh, right. And nothing's gonna flow on time. They're not getting there right. They don't know the importance of getting there like
Just round it up to 40 hours.
40 hours. Yeah, 40 hours. That's $600 on just cooking alone.
That's
Just
$600 in labor right
that
there.
that just from you going on vacation. So
There.
you going on vacation is costing you a minimum of an extra $600.
Yeah.
Minimum, because that same person who's cooking is not doing the sides and
Right.
the kitchen preps. So that's a whole nother, 15 an hour at 20 hours. Well, yeah, it's 3 hours a day, 5 hours a day. We're open from 10 to 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 4 hours a day. Plus you're there 2 hours before time. That's 6 hours.
Right.
You got to give them an 8-hour day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's just service days. That's not the extra prep day. So you guys have to throw all that into the equation and say, do you really want a restaurant business? Or do you want to just let's crawl and get these pop-ups going and learn your procedures and build up to put $100,000 in the bank so you can be like, yep, I know what it was like to work in the mail room. I've ground and grind until I got here, and now I'm ready to spend my $100,000 to try it. And even though you have that money, you still may not be ready. Right. So it's not just about having the $100,000 and then what you're going to think you're going to need, because that's going to go really quick when you start paying people and getting permits and stuff, I would imagine.
Marco Romero, how long after you take the brisket off the cooker do you wait to put it in the warming box? Good question. Good question. So most of the answers you will get on YouTube is you want to leave it out on the table until the temperature comes down quite a bit to where it's closer in temperature to your warmers. You're setting your food warmer between 140 and 150. I set mine at 150 degrees. So some people would want you to get the brisket down to about 150 before you put it in the warmer at 150. So just it has time to come down naturally and it gets put in that warmer. It's the same temperature, it stays that temperature all night. However, in a realistic world, I don't have the countertop space to put a bunch of finished briskets on my prep table, so I'm using those. So when my briskets come off, they get unwrapped, they get hit with tallow, they get wrapped back up, and they immediately go into the warmer. Because I don't have table space for that. And if they come out, typically my briskets come out towards the end of my day to where like that's the last thing that I'm doing usually is taking briskets off. And so I'm ready to go home. I don't have time to wait for it to come from 203 down to 150. That's 63 degrees.
How long does that take?
53 degrees. I mean, at least a couple hours. So mine goes straight into the warmer. So something you can do is if you let's say you do that. Let's say you cooked at 203, you pull it out, you do your tallow or you don't, whatever your process is, and you throw it right into the warmer, like I'm telling you that I do. And you come in the next morning and you pull it out and you feel like it's too tender. It's completely falling apart. You want it to be a little bit more sturdy, okay? All you need to do is undercook it a bit. Maybe instead of taking it to 203, you take it to 195. And then you put it immediately into the warmer. Because you are going to have some carryover cooking, especially once it's wrapped in aluminum foil and put into the warmer. You're going to have some carryover cooking. So that's going to allow it to get more tender. So you kind of have to play with it and determine your process of what you like to do and how you like your briskets to come out. For me, I cook it to 203. It gets pulled off. It gets wrapped with tallow, and I throw it straight into the warmer, which is set at 150 degrees. And I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. So, yeah.
And that's exactly what I've seen happen. I can contest that's exactly what he does. And I followed that to the exact T on Friday night, and I had zero issues. The only issue I had was on my own end was that my flats were a little drier than I would like for them to have been. But we know that those heat up. A few of those are at like 210 or something like that. Waiting for that point to get to that 203 and to be the jiggly that I wanted. So I don't know if that's me waiting a little bit too long on that.
I would say, yeah, if any part of your brisket's at 210, you've waited too long, I would say.
Okay.
But
I thought you said that. Oh, yeah, I thought you said that you weren't nervous about that higher temp is because you need to get that 203 in that feel.
it's more so you want it to get to 203, right? But if let's say you put the thermometer in the middle of the brisket or on the point and it's at 203, okay? And you stick it through the point, the flat, and the middle, and it's probe tender throughout, and the brisket's jiggly, it's ready to come off. You don't need to wait till that flat hits a certain number.
The point, yes, okay.
No, the flat
Okay.
is what I'm saying. The point's going to hit 203.
Yes, sorry. Yes. Yes.
The lean is going to be the more stubborn part. And to be honest, sometimes you'll feel it, and that lean part will still be it'll feel kind of tough. But if it's probe tender and your brisket's at 203 and you're able to do the jiggle test, you're going to be okay.
Okay.
That flat could be it's going to be more stiff. It doesn't have as much fat. It doesn't have as much moisture. But when you slice into it, it should turn out to be a good piece of lean. And you can't expect the lean to be as moist as the fatty. It's just not going to happen. It shouldn't be dry.
It wasn't dry. It was like you say. It was like you were saying. It wasn't as moist as how I like. Yeah, and it's not going to be. Yeah. It's not going to be.
We answered this. What temps do you guys hold your briskets in the warmer? I hold it at 150 degrees. Zoe says, can you give advice for a caterer who wants to do a pop-up event at a festival for the first time, roughly 5,000 people? Yes, I can give you some advice on that. 100% I give you.
What you going to say?
You already know what I'm going to say. Event coordinators are liars.
Catering for 5,000? Like you can cater for 5,000 or sell to 5,000. That's a lot of people to cater for.
I think what she's saying is 5,000 people are supposed to be there.
Okay.
So event coordinators are liars. That's
for a caterer who wants to do a pop-up. Okay.
Yeah, she's a caterer. But what I'm saying is event coordinators, these festival organizers, they're liars. Not on purpose. They anticipate a lot more people than what they're actually going to have come out.
Right.
For various reasons. The marketing efforts, the specific weekend, there's other events, weather, so on and so forth, right? But if they're saying there's going to be 5,000 people there, I would count on there being 2,500 to 3,000 people there. I cut that in half. And then out of those 2,500 to 3,000 people, you got to realize, depending on what you're selling, because you didn't say you were doing barbecue, I don't know what you're doing. You got to figure out, are you the only food vendor there? How many food vendors are actually there? How
many of the same food vendors are there?
Right. Like somebody was talking about there had 4 lemonade stands right next to each other, right? So you're not going to make that much money if you've got that kind of competition there. If you're doing barbecue, are you the only barbecue vendor there? You need to ask those type of questions, right? How many food vendors are going to be there? How many of the same type of food? If you're doing burgers and fries, how many other burger places are going to be there, right? So I would say, look, if they're saying 5,000 people are going to show up, expect 2,500. And out of 2,500, you got to think about the other food options that they have. You got to think about the time of day and what kind of food you're serving. You got to think about the weather. And you have to realize not everybody who's going, all those 2,500 people are not going to go eat your food. Some of them already ate before they came. Some of them have dinner plans. They're waiting to eat. Some of them are on a diet. Some of them are vegetarians or vegan, whatever, right? So I kind of do
Great
You
answer.
know, if somebody said, yeah, this event's going to have 5,000 people there, depending on all those factors, you would decide how much to make. But realistically, probably make food for 1,000 people, especially if it's your first time. What you don't want to do is make a bunch of food and waste it all. I would rather you make enough food to serve 250 people.
That's crazy you said that, because as soon as you were done talking, I was going to suggest that she make food for 250 people and call it a day.
Yeah,
Because,
sell out,
sell out.
have a good win, a feel good win, make some money on your first time out, and don't stress out, because
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
a
thing
bitch.
with food. You buy it up front and then you get paid most of the time.
Yeah,
So yeah, for
you
sure.
said it earlier. Barbecue business is one of the hardest businesses to be in, because we're spending $600 to $800 in food, and then we're spending 20 hours prepping it, and then we're praying that people are going to buy it, right?
Yep.
Whereas if you were the lemonade guy, you're picking lemons off your neighbor's tree, and then and
Or,
then you're
or or if you're selling burgers, right? You're selling
yeah,
burgers and fries. You only put the burger on the grill when the customer
want to
walks
order.
in and buys it, right?
Yeah. I
But
mean,
with
even if you're
brisket,
making up, even if you're not buying frozen patties, you could be making up your own fresh ground beef patties or whatever with mushrooms and onions in it and crap like that. But yeah, you're taking that out of a cold refrigerator, and then boom, you don't sell that this weekend. You can literally put that back in the freezer, right? And you're defrosting it for your next event. So, and French fries are on the. I met a guy that was doing chicken and French fries. I was lightweight jealous that he has like no food waste. He's
yeah,
just order, pay to order, and that's it. And they no crazy prep. He literally goes to Costco, buys him chicken, waits a few hours, let it defrost, and he's frying them up raw.
yep. Got
Yeah,
some comments here.
mm,
To catch up on Richie's barbecue says, I pull my briskets to 195, put them into the warmer after they hit 160. Yeah, so once again, when you're at the house, you're chilling, you pull a brisket off the smoker, you throw it on the countertop, it's no biggie. But when you got tons of stuff running around going on in the restaurant, you don't have counter space, you're trying to leave because you already been there for 12 hours. Sometimes it don't always go that way.
one quick comment back to Zillandra, real quick. Also, only cook the amount of food that only spend the amount of money that you're willing to lose. Like,
Yeah,
so if you go with Kirby's $1,000 thousand person order, okay, we'll just be willing to lose out on $1,000, right? If you only
yeah,
cook the 250, be willing to lose the $250. It's like going to the casino, because nothing's guaranteed.
yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I always say is it's just like gambling at the beginning until you built up a clientele, until you have a good handle on what you're doing. It's gambling. You only spend the amount of money on food that you're willing to lose. Like if nobody showed up that day,
And you lost $250. Great. Okay, whatever. It's just money. It's just like Sean, we got it.
don't put your life savings into it. I pulled my brisket at 197 and wrapped them in foil immediately with towel and throw them straight into the warmer for 12 hours at 150. It gets to 203 before it starts cooling when you wrap it immediately. Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
does it? Oh, wow.
Because like I said, you've got the carryover cooking. It's going to keep cooking in that foil.
So yeah, so that's what I was wondering. Like, I don't have to necessarily cook to 203 now, right? I mean, I still want to get the jiggle, still want to get the pro tender. I'm still going to stick to like what you taught me, but I
Yeah,
now know if I'm going to be pulling briskets off at 5 o'clock in the evening and not serving until 12 o'clock the next day. I didn't know there was going to be that carryover. It feels like there was
you have
carryover.
wiggle room. You have some wiggle room. Like
Okay.
those rules that I give people, those 3 rules, that is sometimes rules can be bent, not broken, but bent. Because sometimes I'll have a brisket on the smoker that's at 190 or 195, and it's probe tender throughout, and it's jiggly. So I'm pulling it. I'm not waiting.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they're rules, but sometimes those rules can be bent. Every brisket's different.
Got it.
Every brisket's different.
Got it.
Okay, so Trumpet Master said, Curb, how long do you keep briskets in the warmer before serving? So usually my briskets come off about between 5 and 7 p.m.
Mhm.
So let's go with 7 p.m. and then I serve them at 11. So you're looking at 15 hours on the low side, on the high side, 17 hours. So
What's
it's
the high side being the longest time?
right. So it's a 15 to 17 hour hot hold for me. And that's because I don't like doing overnight cooks. And I don't, if I've worked all day serving, I'm not going to stay at the restaurant until 9, 10 p.m. Waiting on briskets. That's just miserable.
Oh yeah, you are at 15 hours. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
So I developed some methods and techniques to make sure that my brisket still stays moist and juicy on that 15 to 17 hour hot hold. It's a long hold. Just think about it. 7 to 7 is 12 hours. And then 4 more hours puts you at, so that's 16 hours.
And legally, how long can we hold?
I mean, you can hold it as long as your food's safe. I mean, as long as you're keeping it at 150, I mean, you can hold for a while, but you know, the longer it gets to a point where the product's gonna start deteriorating. So I wouldn't hold it. I think 18 hours is the longest I would suggest going. Anything longer than 18 hours, the product's gonna start to deteriorate for sure.
Okay. Somebody put in the comments, if you do have a food warmer, what's the longest you've held a brisket in the food warmer for? Have you ever held ribs? Oh, you hold ribs in the morning, you cook in the morning and put them in the food warmer. What's the longest time that you've held ribs or that you would suggest? I'll give it to you like this. This weekend, I'm doing a community event. I cannot take the 1,000-gallon smoker with me, and my smoker, same one that we have, the small one, will not allow me to cook 12 slabs of ribs for the day. So my plan is to cook ribs on late Friday night and then put them in the warmer. So my ribs are going to be done at 1 a.m. right? So I put ribs in at 1 a.m. I can hold those until 3 o'clock for service.
I wouldn't do that.
You would not do that.
No.
So
the reason you can hold brisket for that long is because it's such a large piece of meat.
Okay.
And ribs are not so much. To be honest with you, so I pull my ribs at about between 10 and 10:30 a.m. every morning. They go on between 6 and 7 a.m. and they get pulled off the smoker between 10 and 10:30 in the morning. Okay. Sometimes I push it, they're coming off right before service at 11. I want them to be hot and fresh. And so typically, I'm going to sell out anywhere between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. So the longest I ever hold ribs would be 11 to 5 p.m. So that would be 6 hours. And to be honest, the ribs that you get at 5 p.m. are definitely not as good as the ribs you're getting at 11 a.m. I can tell you that right now, even with the food warmer. They're good, they're sellable, but they're not, I wouldn't hold them longer than 6 hours.
Okay.
You're not going to get a good product. Not going to get a good product. Let me get to some of these questions on the chat, though, because we are coming up on time pretty quick. I'm going to be on for the next 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'm going to have to hop off.
Okay.
But let's see. We've got Eric, Big Easy Smokehouse Barbecue. What's the best way to get funding for a barbecue trailer if your city doesn't allow pop-ups?
Good question.
Best way to get funding.
So you can't. He's saying he can't do pop-ups to revenue to generate revenue.
I would say work a job and save up to get it. Work a job and save up to be able to put a down payment on it that's what you want to do. Also, I mean, your city might not allow pop-ups. Maybe you can go to a neighboring town or city and do your pop-ups. That's somewhere that's a little bit more friendly to doing it. Maybe it's 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, an hour away. You could do that. You could, a good thing to do might be to go to a barbecue restaurant that's in your area and work as a pit master for them. Go there, try to learn, work as a pit master for them, take the money that you're making from there and tuck it away until you can get your own trailer and do your own thing.
I have 2 suggestions. My city doesn't allow pop-ups either. There's pop-ups everywhere. So you can read in between those lines, A. And then B, your home is a pop-up. So if you have your social media, you have friends and family, hey, July 4th, I'm doing dinners. July 4th, I'm providing full briskets at a discounted price. You can sell foods from your house. There was a couple in Canada, and they were doing barbecue business from their home. They had it like clockwork. They cooked, they cleaned up their kitchen. Their kitchen was ready. They had a calendar on the wall. They had times and names. Whatever. They went outside and dropped off the meal. Go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, my alarm went off. But you're 100% right. Like something I've said in a few live streams is I use the term illegal. It's not illegal, but there's illegal and then there's illegal. And what I mean by that is like illegal. It's not really against the law. So don't
they're not arresting you. They're
you're not going to jail.
Yeah.
But like when I say there's illegal and there's illegal, it's like, okay. There's tons of people who do pop-ups that sell food out of the back of their vans. Who there's all kinds of illegal food operations in every city across the country. I know most of us want to do things the right way. I encourage people, I coach people to do things the right way. But, there are ways to get around the system a bit. You just got to figure out what you're comfortable doing and what you're not comfortable with doing. And you just got to get creative, man, and ask other people what they're doing. Because all of those people doing barbecue in your city, they started somewhere. Most of them probably didn't start out in a restaurant or a food trailer. So hopefully some of that advice helps. But yeah, I mean, there's been tons of people who've done it out of their homes for sure.
Is this strictly a barbecue channel? Is this just a food talk, food start your business? Because I don't want to throw anybody off topic or subject, but like barbecue is hard. Maybe we find something else for some people that don't have the expenses to go out and buy the barbecue and cook it up. Find something like the hamburgers or the hot dogs or the chicken wings or something that's doable for you. Right? A griddle from Costco, some burgers, and a small electric or gas fryer with a generator if necessary. Like you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you see little girls doing lemonades at the park, dude, in front of I don't know. You got to figure something out.
Yeah, and don't be like when I say illegal, like you're not getting arrested for selling your barbecue in your neighborhood, bro. Like, so if that's how you have to start, that's how you have to start.
And out here, it's a fine if you're popping up and you're not supposed to, because there's really no food permit for that. Yeah, you're going to get a warning when they catch up with you. They're going to give you a warning. And the next one is $200. Great. I'll pay the $200 fine if I need to.
I mean, and another thing is instead of doing pop-ups, why don't you do a catering business?
Right. Yep.
Just start a catering business.
Yep. You don't have to do the pop-up.
Yeah, you don't have to do a pop-up. Do a catering business. So, go get a contract with a commercial kitchen, and you can set up a catering business. There's tons of catering websites where you can put your business on these websites, and people can go and book you for catering gigs. And every time you get a catering gig, you just decide you go rent your commercial kitchen to prepare for your catering gig, and you prep it and you make it and you deliver it and you get paid.
Oh, well, I don't have money for a commercial kitchen yet. I'm just getting started.
Well, okay. No, you do because you you pay by the hour for the
If
time that you use the commercial kitchen.
So you do have the money.
If
So
exactly, because you're only using it when you get booked for a gig.
okay, yeah. So
That's built into your pricing.
I would just find an excuse for somebody would be saying not to get started. I was looking for the answer. Well, there's a kitchen somewhere that you can use to get started. But yeah, put yourself on Yelp, put yourself on Google, barbecue catering. Start making phone calls to the plumbing company, to the car repair shop. Hey, you guys looking to appreciation luncheon? I can provide, a couple brisket sandwiches or whatever.
Yep.
That's what this stream is about.
I appreciate it, William. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we were able to help some of you guys out this evening. As always, I want to thank Greg from Brisket Daddy Barbecue for hopping on and being the best co-host he possibly can.
Trying not to take over the show, my guy. Trying real hard.
We will catch you guys later. There will be a video dropping for the members. Got the video today. If you're a YouTube member, you get early access to videos. So go check out the memberships. That's also where you find the one-on-one coaching for anybody. We can get super in-depth on your business and help you get it started. But there'll be a new video dropping tomorrow, so you'll want to check that out. It's kind of along the lines of the topic of tonight, barbecue restaurant time for the week. So that'll be a good video, and I will see you guys.
I need somebody on the live stream right now to come back next week to tell us what you started this past week, whether it was in your kitchen, whether it was in that rented commercial kitchen, whether it was the catering, whether it was the pop-up when you were. I want somebody to come online and say, I did a pop-up in my city when I wasn't supposed to. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see for sure. So let's go. I'll see y'all next week.
All right. Peace.